Hi, good day to all of us. So for this video report, me and my group mates, we will explain the chapter 1 topic in rhythmic activities. So we have 3 lessons and the chapter 1 is nature, terms, and history of rhythmic dance. Overview. This chapter is designed to help students understand the significance of rhythmic activities as well as their role in the growth of nationalism and the preservation of our cultural heritage. It will assess students in improving self-expression through dance interpretation, movement creation, and performance. So, we have 3 lessons for chapter 1, which is history of dance in the Philippines, fundamental of rhythm, and classification of natural movements. So we proceed. Lesson 1, history of dance in the Philippines. Introduction. Because dance rarely leaves behind clearly identifiable artifacts, the history of dance is difficult to access. So, since the dawn of human civilization, dance has played a significant role in ceremonies, festive rituals, celebrations, and entertainment. During the Spanish colonial period, the bulk of Philippines dances were developed from popular Europe dances. So, Filipinos expressed themselves through dances impersonating animals and going about their daily lives. The Spanish the Spanish influenced dance in the Philippines. Definition. Rhythm is a measure motion or flow characterized basically by recurrence of elements or features as beats, sounds, and accents. So, rhythm is measured flow or motion marked by repetition. So, karaniwan na nailalarawan dito yung sa pamagitan ng pag-ulit ng mga beats, tunog, or yung mga accent. Ito ay nagsisimula sa sounds. So, ang rhythms describe a quality of movement that is sometimes referred to as dancing. Rhythm is a term used to describe structured shapes that initiate creative rhythmic movements. So, ito naman ay nagsisimula sa malikhaing paggalaw. Dancing is a method of expressing one's feelings via rhythmic movement. So, it is the act moving to music in a rhythmic and expressive manner. Dancing comes from the German word danson, which is meaning to stretch. Stretching and relaxing motion are the foundation of all dance. So, yung dancing naman ay isang paraan ng pagpapahayag ng damdamin ng isang tao. So, sa pamamagitan kasi ng paggalaw, parang dinidisiplina ng rhythm yung isang tao. So, ang danson, meaning nun, is stretching. Kasi, di ba kapag tayo ay nagda-dance, normal talaga na may stretch ang ating katawan. Sorry for the cough. So, dance is a sequence of movements. So, performed to music in which order, structure, and pattern emerge. So, ang dance naman, ito ay isang sining na binubuo ng piling ito yung binubuo ng pagkakasunod ng galaw ng tao na mayroong pakay or tumutukoy din ito sa kilos. Rhythmic activities are action that use the body to deliver a message in a rhythmic manner. It can be alone using basic rhythms and locomotor or axial movements, or it can be done in a more advanced form of dance. Example of rhythmic activities are like dancing, classic dances like waltz and other popular social groups dances. So let's proceed. World history of dance. First is primitive dance. In Europe, developed into dances that people today recognize. The primitive people form of dance started as way of bringing oral traditions to life and gathers for celebrations and grief, and it involved into the same kind of expression of emotion but for the purpose of entertainment. So the classification of primitive dance, it recognized dance into four types, which is secular, ritual, abstract, and interpretive, and into four regional varieties. So the next one is ancient Egypt. Dancing became a vital aspect of Egyptian life. For more than a recreational activity, it arose from the host's basic rites employed by hunters to locate their prey. A priest dancer was the hunt commander, and he was in charge of making sure the dances were performed correctly so that the hunt would be successful. Dance in ancient Egypt has had many religious purposes. Ancient Egyptian love music and dance. So let's proceed. Ancient Ancient Greece. Participating in dance and theatrical festivals was religious as well as a recreational activity. Large and little motion, movements, and gestures can be found in Greek dancing. The movements were quite similar to gymnastic exercises that look like dance. For the ancient Greeks, dancing was often a part of religious ceremonies. These religious dances, which were called Apollonian, were performed with instruments such as lyres, lutes, and Kitharas. These dances might also be performed at funerals. Greeks also had a more energetic dance called Dionysian dance. The next one is Roman Empire. Pantomime dance drama emerged an independent form of artistic expression during the reign of Caesar Augustus and around 22 BC. Pantomime was a highly developed art form in which dance was lavishly and creatively used. Roman dance was influenced by Etruscan and Greek dance, the traditional dance of Rome and Belekripa. So the last one is Christian era. Miracle plays, mystery plays, and morality plays that conveyed the church's doctrines were enacted in a theatrical manner on cathedral porches, church squares, and market areas. The seasons were honored in dramatic ceremonial games with dancing movement, just as they had been by prehistoric cultures. The tradition of Christian dance did not happen overnight. For the first 5 centuries of Christianity, the church opposed dancing. Moreover, early Christians were more likely hostile to dance because it reminded them of their pagan counterparts in the Roman Empire, as Augustine's book, The City of God, made clear. So, this is Jezabel Pastolera. I thank you.
Evolution of dance in the Philippines. Primitive era. Primitive era example of these ethnic tribes are the Ibaloy, Kankanay, Ifugao, Kalinga, Apayao, and Bontocs. These tribes share common religious belief, generally anismitic, and make offerings to household gods called anitos. In the course of which dancing occurs, they usually dance around a sacred idol or fire, depending upon the purpose of dancing. They dance to appease ancestors and gods, to cure ailments, to ensure success in war-making activities, or to ward off ill luck and natural calamities, and to congregate and socialize for general welfare and recreation, and as an outlet for repress feelings to ensure bountiful harvest and favorable weather, and to make milestone in the life cycle of birth, wedding, and death. Ritual dances combine improvisational movement, music, and ritual for a specific shared purpose. This ritual allows us to commune in a very ancient way for healing, grieving, expression, or celebration with a request of support from the unseen, the other world, our ancestor, or deities. Life cycle dances. These dances, which are integral to communities' way of life, are the ritual dances which connect to the material world, to the spiritual, the life cycle dances, which celebrate an individual birth, baptism, courtship, wedding, and demise, and the occupational dances which transform defense and livelihood. Occupational dances depict the lifestyle and daily work of the people living in various topographies. The fishing village from north to south of the archipelago develop folk dances depicting their custom in the workplace. Mimetic dances. These dances are several Eta dances that are considered mimetic dances, and they indeed have mimicking or special Eta characters such as monkey dance, the bee dance, the lovers dance, and the battle dance. The Spanish colonial period. Spaniards have moderated and even led the politics and economics of the country, which has mainly due to Spanish colonialism starting from the 16th century. Despite the earliest Filipinos having the art of type of government, writings, myths, and tradition, several features of Hispanic culture have influenced different aspects Filipino culture, from clothing such as Barong Tagalog and the Terno, to the religion, even up to the dances and music. The American colonial period. Just like in the Spanish colonization, the Americans in 1898 had brought in their own commercial and global culture, which had also influenced the Filipinos. Those with interest in dance were the ones mainly appealed to by more black influenced custom of dance and music, with these Filipino dancers who already know the zarzuela, a Spanish from a stage performance with singing and dancing and musical comedy. They become more interested in the American vaudeville or stage show, which is filled with both theatrical and circus acts, and more reminiscent of Broadway musicals.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elaine Joy Aguilar, and I am the reporter for today's topic, which is folk dance. So, this is the table of contents. The first one is overview, and the second one is the history. So, let's go for the overview. So, what is folk dance? Okay, a folk dance is a dance developed by people that reflect the life of the people of a certain country or region. Not all ethnic dances are folk dances. For example, ritual dances or dances of ritual origin are not considered to be folk dances. Ritual dances are usually called religious dances because of their purpose. The terms ethnic and traditional are used when it is required to emphasize the cultural roots of the dance. In this sense, nearly all folk dances are ethnic ones. If some dances such as a polka cross ethnic boundaries and even cross the boundary between folk and ballroom dance, ethnic differences are often considerable enough to mention. So, here is the list of famous countries that have folk dances. First one is the North America. A few famous folk dances from North America include contra dancing, square dancing, and clogging, in addition to the dances of Native Americans. In contra dancing, lines of couple follow the instruction of a caller who chooses from between 6 and 12 short dances sequences. The dance goes for 64 beats, while the dancer make their moves and change partners as they progress down the line. Like contra dancing, square dancing has couples dancing to the instruction of a caller. But with square dancing, 4 couples begin the dance facing one another in a square. So for the second one is the Latin America. As might be expected, folk dance in Latin America derives from the region's Spanish roots, although African influence manifests itself as well. Many of Latin Americans' traditional dances came from the fandango and the sigidilla, highly popular 18th century forms. In these couples dances, partners were arranged in scattered formation on the dance floor, often an outdoor play show, but the partners never touch. Okay, the next one is Asia. The list of folk dances associated with Asian countries is long, indeed befitting the continent's rich history and diversity of cultures. India is known for its Bhangra, Garba, and Baladi dances. In China, steps are underway to preserve a history of traditional Chinese folk dances as ethnic minorities become smaller and cultural forms are lost. As with China, Russian folk dances stem from the multitude of ethnicities in the vast country. And then the next is Africa. Perhaps on no other continent is dance as integral to the culture as it is in Africa. Dances can involve a method of education, teaching morals and etiquette, as well as welcoming or celebrating members of the community. Among the myriad examples, one interesting folk dance from Africa is Iskista, a traditional Ethiopian dance for both men and women. The dance focuses on rolling the shoulder blades, bouncing the shoulders, and contracting the chest. And then, the next one is Europe. Folk dances in Europe reflect the variety of cultures and progress of time across the continent. Many folk dances predate the existence of the nations as their lines are drawn today. That being said, some characteristics are so unique that analysts can identify the source of a dance even if they never seen it before. One example is particular type of German or Austrian dance that involves the dancers slapping the soles of their shoes with their hands. So let's proceed to the Philippine folk dances. So when talking about dance in the Philippines, we can't help but think of the classic Filipino folk dance that put the country on the world map. Here's a list of folk dances in the Philippines you should know rather if you want to learn more about the country's culture. So the first one is the tinikling. Tinikling, one of the most popular folk dances in the Philippines. The traditional dance, which usually involves a pair of 2 bamboo poles, is considered to be the oldest in the country, and its appeal has spread across the globe, particularly to the United States. The second picture is the itik-itik dance. So, itik-itik dance is a Philippine folk dance form created by imitating the movements of a duck, such as wading, flying, and short steps and splashing water on their backs like the ducks do. The Minimitic folk dance is said to have originated from the province of Surigao in Philippines, Apparently, this dance form is said to have been popular in towns such as Rascal, Cantolan, Lunuza, and Carmen. The third pick is Maglalatik folk dance. Maglalatik, also referred to as manlalatik or magbabaw, is a Southeast Asian form of dance. This indigenous dance style is said to have originated from the Philippines and is performed mainly by men. Apparently, elements belonging to trapping and boxing are also included in this style of dancing. Furthermore, the dance has been created to provide the performer with an ideal platform to display skills to the public. In addition, these dance styles literally when translated means latik maker. Latik is a local coconut product. The next one is the Binasuan folk dance. The Binasuan is a Filipino folk dance in which the performer holds full wine glasses in each hand while performing balancing tricks. Wine may be used to fill the glasses, but other liquids may be substituted. The arms are rotated over the under the shoulder in order to keep the palms facing up so as not to spill the liquid while nevertheless allowing the radius to cross over the una via coronation. So binasuan is originated in Pangasinan and it is popular at festive events such as wedding. Okay, let's go for the singkil. Singkil folk dance. So singkil is originated from the Maranao people who inhabit the shores of Lake Lanao. It is a retelling of an episode from the Maranao epic legend, Darangen, involving the rescue of Princess Gandingan by the legendary Prince Bantugan. It is a popular dance performed during celebrations and other festive entertainment. Originally, only women, particularly royalty dance the singkil, which serves as either a conscious or a unconscious advertisement to potential suitors. For the kapamalong dance is a malong. In short, kapamalong dance is the term malong is a Muslim influenced dance. The sarong is a pantubong costume and dance is essentially shows the many ways that you can get tired. There are also versions of the men's and women dance because they wear malongs in different ways. So, the kapamalong is also called a sambe samalong. Is a dance that originated from the Maranao tribes of Mindanao in the Philippines. The dance shows the many ways of wearing a malong, a simple tubular yet highly functional piece of cloth. So for the next one is the Cariñosa. A Cariñosa is a Southeast Asian dance style from Philippines. Cariñosa in English literally means loving or affectionate one. This romantic Philippines dance originated in the Panay Islands in the colonial era from the Maria Clara suite of Philippine folk dances, and it is supposed to be heavily influenced by the Hispanic culture. A fan of handkerchief plays an important role in the dance form. Furthermore, this form of dancing is said to comprise of elements belonging to styles such as bolero and harabi tapasyo. The next one is sayaw sa bangko. Sayaw sa bangko, or what we call is dance on a bench in English, is a folk dance from the Pangasinan province of the Philippines. Performer dance on top of a bench that is normally 6 inches wide. So, let's proceed on the Pandango sa Ilaw. Pandango sa Ilaw is a very popular folk dance in the Philippines. It is said to have originated from Mindoro, the 7th largest island in the Philippines. This dance of lights simulates fireflies as dust at night. The word pandango is from the Spanish fandango, a dance in 3 to 4 time. The phrase sa ilaw is Tagalog for, in short, light, and it refers to the three oil lamps that a dancer has to balance, one on the head and one on the back each hand. The oil lamp is called tinghoy. Sometimes candles in glasses are used instead of an oil lamp. So let's proceed in the Coracha. So Coracha is one of the traditional dances in Leyte and Samar province. It is widely danced especially during fiesta, family reunions, and weddings. It is referred to as a courtship dance where dancers imitate courtship movements of rooster and a hen in a creative way. So the next one is the pantomima. Pantomima is a Bicolano folk dance that came from the Spanish word for pantomime because of its skirting or wooing movements. Its old name is salampati, Bicol terms for doves, so the dance is sometimes referred to as the dance of doves. So let's go for the history of folk dance. Origin of folk dancing. Cultural dances came into being with a social function, weaving recreation into celebrations and important agriculture events. While many groups perform folk dances on stage today, the genesis of folk dancing right up through the middle of 20th century was non-performative for the most part. Although exotic dancing became popular in Europe during the late 1800s and early 1900s, the artists who performed folk dances from their own culture on stage in Paris and London had removed the social aspect from the genre. In addition to the social nature of the dance, special costumes were often present in costuming as well as the musical rhythms that dictated the various cultural dances. The evidence of a deep, slowly evolving cultural tradition is evident. Due to the isolated nature of the world's regions up until the last century, many different forms of folk dancing evolved in different regions of the world. Folk dancing from India looks very different from folk dancing from Mexico. But it is all under the umbrella term of folk dancing because it is social in nature and it is steeped in tradition instead of a culture of innovation. So here is the list of top 10 most popular folk dance in the world. The first one is samba in Brazil, tarantella in Italy, flamenco in Spain, tango in Argentina, hula in Hawaii, Bharatanatyam in India, Apsara in Cambodia, Irish step in Ireland, dragon dance in China, and the last one, kabuki in Japan. This is the end of my report. Thank you for listening and hope you enjoy my report. Again, good morning and thank you.
Good day, everyone. This is Crystal J. Manalo from BSS Social Studies 1A, and we are going to talk about the contributors to Philippine folk dance. Folk dance is the oldest form of dance in the earliest form of communication. Local dances in modern time are now performed and appreciated beyond their province of origin. Much of the credit goes to the different ethno-linguistic groups considered the culture bearers for continuing their dance traditions, passing them on from generation to generation. A big help in making this folk dance popular are through the works of 5 Filipinos who research on these dances, introduced innovations, and made well uploaded dances performances out of them. Their contributions popularized as well as revolutionized Philippine folk dance, elevating them into dance theater performed elegantly by various dance troupes in different stages locally and internationally. These Filipinos have been conferred with the highest award for creative artistry in the Philippines, the National Artist Award, namely Francisca Reyes Aquino of 1973, Leonor Orosa Goquinco of 1976, and Lucrecia Ortula of 1988, Ramon Obusan on 2006, and lastly, Alice Reyes on 2014. So the first artist that we are gonna tackle about is Francisca Reyes Aquino. Francisca Reyes Aquino is considered as the mother of Philippines folk dance. She was born in Bonawi, Bulacan and graduated in the University of the Philippines with a degree in Bachelor in Science Education. She presented four folk dances, namely Cariñosa, Aburaray, Salabat, and Ariwana, as her dissertation piece of her master's degree in physical education. She is also the author of numerous academic books for folk dance, including Philippine Folk Dances and Games in 1927 and Philippine National Dances 1946. Reyes Aquino's contribution in the promotion of Filipino culture, specifically that Philippine folk dance, was duly recognized by the government. Most notable of the awards given to her include the Republic Award of Merit in 1954 by President Ramon Magsaysay. Second is the Ramon Magsaysay Award for the Government Service in 1963 and the National Artist of the Philippines Award in 1973, the first conferment in category of dance. As to this, she was fondly called the mother of Philippine dancing. She also lived a life dedicated to preserving Filipino heritage through studying and teaching folk dances. She was acknowledged as the folk dance pioneer. This Bulaqueña began her research on folk dances in the 1920s, making trips to remote barrios in central and northern Luzon. Her research on the unrecorded forms of local celebration, ritual, and sport resulted into a 1926 thesis titled The Philippine Folk Dances and Games, and arranged specifically for use by teachers and playground instructors in public and private schools. So let's proceed to the next slide. Leonor Orasa Goquinco is the second National Artist Awardee for dance after Reyes Aquino. She was born in Holosulu, the youngest Orosa immersed in learning and training herself in artistic pursuits, specifically in ballet. She graduates summa cum laude with a degree of Bachelor of Science in Education, major in English Literature at St. Scholastica's College. She went to Columbia University and Teachers College in New York, where she took up courses in theater craft, drama, and music. She is a keen ballet dancer, and she also took courses in professional and teacher training under the best teachers, including Francesca Reyes Aquino. She was dubbed as the Trailblazer, Mother of Philippine Theater Dance, and the Dean of Filipino Performing Arts Critics. The year 1939, Orosa made a mark in Philippine dance by being the only dance representative sent to the first cultural mission in Japan. She also produced two ballet productions that same year, namely the Circling the Globe and Dance Panorama. This was followed by another dance production, which is The Elements, staged in 1940. She was married to Benjamin Goquinco Orosa, who founded Philippine Ballet and Philippine Cast Dance Company in 1959. where she choreographed numerous dance productions using her own storylines and showed them in their numerous tours abroad. She broke traditions and barriers by featuring Philippine colors in ballet productions such as Muslim Royal Wedding or the festival in Maguindanao. The local legends of the first man and woman, which is the eons ago or the creation, rice planting sequences and tinikling or the bird and the planters, and synthesizing ballet with Philippine folk dance. She used indigenous costumes in many of her choreographies. The creative by Orosa Coquinco in all her dance productions highlighted the beauty of local dances which helped revolutionize Philippine folk dances. So for this, she was awarded a National Artist for Creative Dance in 1976. So she is truly an amazing woman on her times for being the trailblazer that she is. So next artist will be Lucrecia Ortula. Lucrecia Reyes Ortula was born in Iloilo to Leon S. Reyes, the Philippine Constabulary Colonel, and Antonia Faustino, a nurse. She studied in Philippine Women's University or the PWU, where she finished her education major in physical education. Inspired by the works done by Francesca Reyes Aquino, she also taught in PWU, where she pursued and continued her passion in Philippine folk dances, both as a researcher, dance director, and choreographer. Ortula also helped popularize Philippine folk dance as a theatrical presentation. As a dance director of Bayanihan Philippine Dance Company, her choreographies were based on her own research on traditional dances in the country, adapted to theatrical audiences. She used the storylines of many local epics and legends as a theme of many of her works. Among her most notable choreographed works include Singkil, which is based on Maranao epic, Vinta, which is a dance that highlighted the greatness of Filipinos as sailors, Tagabili, a story of conflict among different local groups, Pagdiwata, which features the 4-day harvest festival, and the Salid which is showcasing a mountain wedding dance. In Sound of Wings, Ortula used the many stories and legends about Philippine birds and adapted them into a dance performance. For her creative works in further modernizing Philippine folk dance, Reyes Ortula was awarded the National Artist for Dance in 1988. So Miss Lucrecia Ortula was the third to become the National Artist for Dance in the Philippines. Next is Ramon Ubusan. Ubusan was the eldest in the 15 brood of Pradeses Ubusan, a doctor, and Josefina Arevalo, which is a music teacher. He took up a marine biology in University of the Philippines as his college course. Following the tradition of his scholarly family, however, a visit of the National Fisheries Schools in Aklan introduced and exposed him to the colorful village life in rural Philippines. The festivals, weddings, rituals, and other social practices of the local people. This prompted him to study cultural anthropology, also in the University of the Philippines, where he came under the tutelage of Dr. Arsenio Manuel, a considered dean of the Philippine anthropology and the father of Philippine folklore. It was his stint with the Bayanihan folk dance that Abusan was first exposed to the Philippine theatrical dance. He worked with Bayanihan first as a researcher and later on as a dancer, despite not having the classical training. In 1972, armed with his experience from Bayanihan and academic background as an anthropologist, he organized his own folkloric group, which is the ROFG. So, in ROFG, Obusan worked hard to present Philippine folk dances in their most authentic form, a form of costumes, movements, music. Among his memorable choreographed works include Kayao of 1968 and 1974, featuring Cordillera rituals in dance and music. Second is Vamos a Belen of 1998 to 2004, which is an anthology of the journey of the shepherds in their search for the child Jesus. And Noon Po sa Amin, which is a tableau of the Philippine history set in songs, dance, and drama. So there was a famous line of Obusan that he have said in the National Artist of Dance in 2006, which is, when you talk about dance, you just don't talk about dance. You talk music, costumes, beliefs, traditions, purpose, and occupation. Dance is the brightest jewel in the crown of a national heritage. This was recorded when he was hailed as the National Artist of Dance in 2006. The article entitled The Old Man Scholar in the official page of Ramon Obusan Folkloric Foundation Incorporated, or the ROFG. Next on the list is Alice Reyes, which is the last artist to be hailed as a national artist for dance. So, in 2014, Alice Garcia Reyes became the fifth recipient of the National Artist Award for Dance. So, as a dancer, she started her training in classical ballet at a young age. She also trained under the Bayanihan Philippine National Dance Company and attended Center Dance in Colorado Springs to pursue modern dance and jazz education and training. She also trained under Martha Graham and Merce Cunningham, considered two of the best in modern dance in the United States. And in 1969, Reyes choreographed Amada, which is a ballet performance based on Nick Hawkins' novel The Summer Solstice. Amada premiered in the Cultural Center of the Philippines in 1970 as a part of Reyes' first dance concert. It was also Reyes who found CCP's resident dance company, now known as the Ballet Philippines, which she managed as art director for 20 years. Reyes introduced many innovations in Philippine modern dance. In her choreography, she used classical music for modern dance and rock music for ballet. She collaborated with composer Nonong Pedro in 1972 in staging Tales of Manuvu, which was based on the story of creation. In 1980, Reyes worked with Ryan Cayabyab and Benvenido Lombera, the two national artists of literature, in 2006 for the libero of Rama Hari, based on the Indian epic Ramayana. In these two performances, Reyes' ballet dancers shared the stage with the young singers at the time, such as Lea Navarro, Anthony Costello, Celeste Legaspi, Basil Valdez, Kule Desma, Lea Valdez, who later made their own mark in original Filipino music. In Ramahari, Reyes also danced the part of Sita, which is the lover of Rama in the epic. I know we are familiar with this because we tackled this when we are in junior high school, maybe in grade 9, grade 8, or grade 7. So, Reyes also pioneered intensive summer workshops for performing arts in CCP, covering dance and theater arts. This became the venue in training dancers under her became world-class performers, developing their versatility in dancing both ballet and modern dance. Other notable works by Reyes are at a Maranao gathering in 1970, the Itimasu on 1971, and Bayanihan Remembered in 1987. So, this concludes my report. I'm giving the virtual stage to the next reporter. Thank you for listening.
So this is the formations commonly used in rhythmic activities. So first, what is rhythmic activities? Rhythmic activities are usually expressed through synchronized movements. The most common example is line dancing, classic dances like the waltz, and other popular social dances. So this is the formations used in rhythmic activities. The first one, we have the single circle facing clockwise. The next one, we have the single circle partners facing. And the next one, we have the single circle facing counterclockwise. And the next one, we have the single circle facing center. The next one, we have the double circle partners facing clockwise. The next one, we have the double circle facing clockwise. The next one, we have the double circle partners facing. The next one, we have the square or quadrille formation. The next one, we have the double lines facing front. The next one, we have the double lines partners facing. The next one, we have the skater formation in pairs. The next one, we have the several lines or long open formation. And the last one, we have the semicircle or half moon. So that is the formations used in rhythmic activities. And always remember that formations are very important and it adds beauty to the dance. Formation may vary or change after each figure in a dance.
Good morning, everyone. I am Jenny Hortaliosa, together with my co-reporter Daffodil Angulo and Lakeisha Abilin Caligonan. Our topic is all about the Lesson 2 Fundamental of Rhythm. Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to A. Familiarize the different signs and symbols of music. B. Explain the elements of rhythm. C. Know the different notes, values, and counts. D. Execute the different basic dance steps in folk dance and in different time signature. And last, participate in the class discussion. So, the elements of rhythm are: first is underlying beat or pulse beat. The underlying beat is a steady continuous sound that is heard or felt throughout a rhythmical sequence. The constant steady pulsation is called the pulse beat. It is the steady sound which is served as the constant measure upon which all rhythmic structure or relationship depends. The underlying beat determines the time of signature of a piece of movement or music. Second is the measure. It refers to the identical groupings of underlying beats. Number 3, rhythmic pattern. This refers to a definite grouping of sounds or beats related to the underlying beat. It is also called the melody pattern because the rhythmic patterns follow the word or melody. And number 4, phrasing. A musical phrase is a group of measures that gives the feeling of unity. The end of the phrase may suggest a change in direction or movement.
Accent is the force or emphasis given to any one beat in a series of full beats in a measure. Because the way you dance or exercise, you will really increase your heartbeat. Next, tempo. This is the rate of speed of the movement, music, or accompaniment. So, this is the beat with fast music like rap or slow beat like Moira dilatory songs. Next, intensity is the quality movement or music. It refers to dynamic or force such as heavy or light. For example, you will use a acoustic instrument and it depends on the instrument you will use on the intensity of the music if theirs is rock or jazz music. Sign and symbol of music. So first, whole. This is the note value of whole and this is the equivalent rest of whole. So next, half. This is the note value of half and this is the equivalent rest of half. Third, quarter. This is the note value of quarter and this is the equivalent rest of quarter. So fourth, 8. This is the note value of 8 and this is the equivalent rest of 8. For the last 16, this is the note value of 16 and this is the equivalent rest of 16.
So hi everyone, my name is Lakeisha Abiling Caligonan. So, note pyramid. The music note tree is a visual representation of how note values work. You might also see it referred to as a rhythm tree or a note pyramid, but they are still the same. So these are the values and counts of the notes. As you can see, the note value and the counts. In this slide, this is all about the counting and equivalent note of rhythmic patterns. So, may video para magets nyo ang mga patterns and also the countings.
Music notes: the whole note, half note, quarter note, eighth note, and 16th note. The whole note. The whole note is made up of a single note head. The whole note equals 4 beats. Listen the first time, and then you hum or sing along. Your turn. One more time. The half note. The half note has a note head and a stem. The half note gets 2 beats. Again, listen, and then you join in. Your turn. The quarter note. The quarter note has a shaded in note head and a stem. Each quarter note gets one beat. Since we have 4 beats, we'll use 4 quarter notes. The eighth note. The eighth note has a shaded in note head, a stem, and a flag. Eighth notes can be written individually with a flag or connected with a beam. The eighth note equals half of a beat. You try it. Last time. The 16th note has a shaded in note head, stem, and 2 flags. The flags are how we tell the 16th note from the 8th note. 16th notes can be written individually with 2 flags or connected with 2 beams. The 16th note equals a quarter of a beat. Now let's review. The whole note gets 4 beats. The half note gets 2 beats. The quarter note gets 1 beat. The eighth note gets a half beat. And the 16th note gets a quarter beat. Good job!
So, that's all guys. Sana may naintindihan ka mo. Again, I am Lakeisha Abilin Caligonan with Daffodil Angulo and Johnny Hortillosa. Thank you.
Hello, good day. I am John Romer F. Badi together with my co-reporter, Miss Ashley Jane T. Kiambao and Mr. Judy A. Rotello. We are here to report to you about the Lesson 3, Classification of Natural Movements. The basic natural movement include the action to move. An action is any human movement included in the act of dancing, like dance steps, facial movements, lifts, gestures, and even everyday movements like locomotor, such as walking, running, and hopping. Movement can also be improvised, meaning that the dancer make it up on the spot. As they spontaneously dance movements, that travels through space is broadly called locomotor movements, in contrast to actual movement which occur on one spot. Objectives. At the end of the lesson, the student should be able to A. Enumerate and explain the different natural movements and its examples, and B. Participate in the class discussion. So here, let I will give the floor to Miss Gambao to report about the basic natural movements.
So, good afternoon once again. I am Ashley Jane T. Kiambao, and today I am going to present to you my assigned part in this report. Basic natural movements are classified into two, locomotor and non-locomotor. Locomotor movements refers to body movements that move the body from one place to another. They cause the body to travel. So, locomotor movement skills are those in which the body is moved in one direction or a combination of directions from one point to another. It also helps us build confidence and develop a sense of freedom. Freedom to do something we like, or freedom to do what we have to do in our daily life. And it is probably the most basic and important category of fundamental movement skills. Walking, a series of steps in any direction. Walking is a great way to improve our and maintain our overall health. Unlike some other forms of exercises, walking is free and doesn't require any special equipment or training. Running, a fast walk, weight is being transferred from one foot to another with weight carried forward on the ball of the floor. Running increases our heart rate and improves circulation. It also helps us to improve our health, especially on our heart, and reduce risk of cardiovascular problems. Jumping. Spring on one foot or both feet and landing on both feet. When we jump, our body becomes accustomed to supplying more oxygen and blood to our muscles. It improves balance and muscular coordination. It is a great way to attain functional fitness, which is the fitness we can use in our daily living. Hop. Spring in one foot and land on the same foot. Hopping is more advanced skill than jumping as it requires balance and strength. Hopping is a good indicator of being able to maintain balance while moving, which is often referred as dynamic balance. Leaping. Spring on one foot and landing on the other foot. Leaping is another form of locomotion or movement in which an organism or non-living organism's mechanical system propels itself through the air along a ballistic trajectory. Health benefits of locomotor activities and exercises. Movement matters. When we move, we make our body productive in performing a task. This will help our body to regulate the flood of sugar in our body. Next is posture. Efficient training can help to correct bad posture and muscular inequalities caused by unhealthy lifestyle and sedentary lifestyle. Fat burning. Useful training delivers fantastic fat burning workouts by using full body exercises that improve the body fitness. Muscle tone or density. It improves the muscular strength and endurance through proper exercise and active lifestyle. An even rhythm does not go along the music, and its dancing positions are different form of rhythm. Those examples I have mentioned earlier, the jumping, hopping, leaping, running, and walking are examples of an even rhythm. And hindi na po ito kailangan ng music para gawin. At ang pagsasayaw naman po, at iba-ibang posisyon ng pagsayaw ay ibang anyo rin ito ng even rhythm na under po sila sa locomotor activities or movements. Yun lang man po. Salamat.
Hi, good day everyone. I am Judy Rotelo, and as a continuation of our assigned topic, I will be discuss the following. So first is skipping. So skipping is done with a step and a hop using the same foot. If we say skipping, it is a combination of a step and a hop on the same foot followed by a step and hop on the another foot. So the rhythm is uneven, long to short. Long the step, the short the hop. So the next one is gallop. Gallop is stepping of one foot or cutting on the other, either sideways or forward. So it is a forward movement where the foot leads and gallop while the other foot follows. So the lead foot steps with the bent knee and pushes off into the air and landing on the trailing foot. So the rhythm is uneven, long to short because long the step, short the landing. So now let's moving on and discuss non-locomotor. Non-locomotor movement are also sometimes called axial movements. They are movements of a certain body parts or even the whole body without causing the body to travel. So, from the word movement of a certain body parts without causing the body to travel. So, paggalaw ng bahagi ng ating katawan o ng inyong katawan nang hindi nagiging sanhi ng paglakbay ng katawan. So, you are moving but in a certain place lang. No travel involved. So, next is curve or bend. So, done by straightening or extending any parts of the body from the joint. So, as you can see in the picture presented, curve or bend is a flex of a body parts at a joint. So, the next one is left or raise. So, elevating the part of a body usually for the arm and leg. So, you are moving your both hands down and up. The position is in your side. So, next, twisting or contort. Moving part of the body around a long axis, usually head and body. So, twisting or contort is refers to the rotating body parts around an axis while the base stays stationary. So, that's all. Thank you for listening. Mr. Bahadi will be the next reporter.
Hello, good day everyone. I am John Romer F. Bahati and I am here to continue the report of Mr. Rotello about non-locomotive movement. So here is swing. So swing is a movement of body part that can push ahead and in reverse or side to side. Swing right arm, then left arm. So as you can see on the picture, the hand moves or swing from front to back and back to front repeatedly. So it is example of non-locomotive movement because arm swinging only requires the movement of hand without traveling from one place to another. So next is turn or rotate. So it is a movement of body part around a vertical or even full, half, or quarter turns. So it is also an example of non-locomotive movement because it only requires one foot to rotate and in one place. So in the picture, you can see that she turned at two clockwise direction, face right. Then she faces at the back. Then she faces at the right side, and last, she faces at the front. So next is arm circling. Arm circling is to move continuously from one point to another. So arm circling is where you move your both arms in a circular motion. It is a best example of non-locomotive movement as you are not exerting an effort to travel from one place to another, just like the swing and the turn or rotate. So next is resistive actions. So there are three resistive actions, namely pushing, pulling, and lifting. So first in the list is pushing. Pushing, an effort to move an object, real or imaginary, in space away from the body against resistance. So example for it is where you are pushing a door. When you pushes the door, you make the object to be away from your body. So next is pulling. Pulling, an effort to bring an object, real or imaginary, in space toward the object against resistance. So pulling, it is the opposite of pushing, where you pull an object from your direction, like pulling a cart. And last is lifting. So lifting, change of body level or any part of the body or an object, real or imaginary, from a lower to a higher level. So lifting is where you are lifting the object from the ground to the higher level. An example for that is where you are lifting a box. So that's the end of our report for lesson 3. I am John Romer F. Badi, together with my co-reporters, Miss Ashley Jane T. Kiambao and Mr. Judy A. Rotello. And also, this is the end of our report for whole chapter 1. Thank you so much and God bless us all.